Inflation's been rough the last couple of years, and I know that we have all been feeling it at the grocery store. Today, we're gonna talk inflation. We are going to look at some numbers, compare some prices, and then stick with me to the end because we are going to talk specifically about some strategies that we can take to still save money at the grocery store. So we're gonna get all nerdy today and look at some numbers. I have my notebook here where I've written down a lot of prices, and we are gonna just take a look back to 5 years ago compared to today, just to get an idea of the kind of inflation that we're seeing right now and maybe why your grocery budget money is not stretching as far as it used to. I shared 2 videos on this topic last year, one comparing prices from 2020 up till last summer, and then the other one was from 2019. So I will link to both of those if you want to check those out. I went to the grocery store, I bought everything that I had bought back in 2020 or in 2019, and I compared all of those prices, like each item, and we talked through it. So if you are interested in seeing those videos, I will be sure to link them in the description so you can check them out too. So the good news is when I went this week and compared prices, the prices this year have not changed that much since last year. So I feel like that's good news. We know that we're not paying a lot more this year than last year. Of course, the one exception being eggs. Eggs are exceptionally high right now. Even though we did see them go really high last year, they're extra high right now. And hopefully, I have hopes that that will come down and this is not going to be like the new normal for eggs. I think once like the bird flu is over and all of that, hopefully we'll see the egg prices going back at least somewhat to normal. But yeah, those are exceptionally high right now. Everything else is pretty similar to last year. But what I did is I went ahead and looked back at my a grocery order that I did back in 2020 at Walmart and then one at Aldi. So at Walmart, I spent back in 2020, $95.54. And if I bought all of those things again today, my price would increase to $138.47. So do the math for you here so you don't have to do it in your head. That's a $42.93 increase or a 45% increase. So I'm seeing the prices at my local Walmart for the things that I buy at my local Walmart increasing about 45%. And I'd be interested to know if you are seeing similar numbers where you live, but that's what I'm seeing here. 45% increase from 5 years ago, from 2020. Now, when I looked at Aldi, I'm seeing a slightly higher increase there. Well, actually a pretty significantly higher increase at Aldi. My order in 2020 at Aldi was for $95.33. If I bought all of those same items today in 2025, it would be $147.29. So that is an almost 55% increase, which isn't that interesting. I think it's because Aldi in the past was always, at least mine here compared to Walmart, was pretty much always cheaper. Most items were at least like 10 cents cheaper or whatever than Walmart, which really added up in the long run. But I've seen my Aldi, it's much more comparable to Walmart now, and which is why I don't even get over there as much because there's just not a huge price difference anymore. And I think we see that with the 55% increase there versus 45% at Walmart. So I found that to be interesting. So then I wanted to dig a little more. So I was looking at what items have gone up the most. Of course, I already mentioned eggs. They've gone up 550% at Walmart, which, yeah, that's crazy. Hopefully that they will not stay that way. But besides eggs, what are some of the other items? And I've noticed it, like not even looking at numbers, just like noticing when I grocery shop, I've noticed that the meat seems to be a lot more. The cheese is more, a lot of snack items are more. So I wanted to look at those specifically on my list. And yeah, those were the things I was noticing. Chicken breasts, like a bag of frozen chicken breasts from Walmart, they are up almost 60% in price, which is, that surprised me. I didn't realize they were up that much. And that's at Walmart. Ground beef is up 33% at Walmart over the last 5 years. Shredded cheese, the price is up 52% at Walmart. Oh, I wrote down a price here from Aldi. Sour cream, interestingly, up 130% at Aldi. And I think sour cream was just really, used to be quite cheap at Aldi. So kind of a bummer it's up that much now, but it is what it is. A couple snack foods that are up. Pretzels, 173% at Walmart. Graham crackers up over 100% in price at Walmart. Applesauce up 57%, which I have noticed that one definitely is more expensive than it used to be. Now, one thing to note is that all of these prices that I'm comparing are for like store brand products. I rarely buy name brand, so I really don't have a good way to compare like how much they have gone up. So if you normally buy name brand prices, leave me a comment and let me know if you've seen like similar price increases in the last, 5 years. I would just be curious if they are going up at, I assume it's pretty comparable, the amount of inflation. But again, I can't really compare because I just rarely buy the name brand. Now, there are a couple things I didn't really see much of an increase, or it kind of depends on the week. Like milk right now, the current price really is not that much different. It's up a little bit, but not to the extent that some of these other items are. Then some things that aren't up at all are rice, beans, some of those good cheap foods really have not gone up at all. Now the canned items, yes, like the canned beans have gone up some, but the dry beans, just regular basic rice, things like that really have not gone up even in the last 5 years, at least with the prices here for my area. So that was something interesting to note. But overall, yes, the majority of items have gone up in the last 5 years. And with my prices here, I mean, the 45% increase at Walmart, 55% at Aldi, average that out, we're still seeing about a 50% increase in the basic foods that I buy, which is kind of crazy. And if you spend $200, if you spent $200 normally back in 2020, that means you're spending $300 now for the same items. So that makes a big difference, especially when you add that up over the year. It makes a significant difference in your budget and how much you are spending in a whole year or even in just a month on groceries. So I told you we're gonna talk about some strategies that we can take to still save money at the grocery store, or at the very least, not spend as much, not spend 50% more than we were spending 5 years ago. So the first thing I wanted to mention is change up your cheap and easy meals if you have to. For instance, like in the past, a cheap and easy meal I would make if I had run out of time, or I just was like feeling too lazy to make a really big supper, be like, okay, we are just gonna have scrambled eggs tonight. Or lunch, I'll make boiled eggs for the kids. It'll be quick and easy. Well, eggs are kind of out of the picture now for a really cheap meal. I'm not saying don't eat eggs, we still eat eggs, but we are not doing a bunch of breakfast for dinner right now, or boiled eggs for lunch, or whatever. You have to be willing to switch things up if you are still trying to save money. So maybe you're gonna go for something that has beans and rice because those prices have not really gone up. Or maybe you will make some more pasta dishes. So every family is different. Your cheap and easy meal is not gonna be the same as mine. But if you know that eggs are extra expensive, find something else that you can keep ready so you're not gonna want to be tempted to go out to eat and spend even more money. Have something that is easy and quick and is still inexpensive. Another really important thing is to keep track of the sale prices for some key foods that you buy. So, you know yourself best, you know what you buy most often, but I think it's a great idea if you don't already kind of have these prices in your head to like grab a notebook and just write down, it's gonna be overwhelming to keep track of the price of every single thing you buy, but some of the key things that you're buying every week or that you're using every week, So for me, that would be like, okay, I use chicken breasts a lot. Chicken drumsticks, ground beef, my shredded cheese for things, items like that. Write them down and then keep track of what the typical sale prices are. Like I know that even though chicken breasts have gone up in price, I can pretty regularly expect a sale at Kroger where they're $1.99 a pound. And that's kind of like back to the old prices. We would see $1.99 a pound like very regularly back in 2020. So I know I can still get that price if I wait for the sales. So since I have that number in my head, I'll wait for those sales and then stock up when those sales come. Also for cheese, like Kroger pretty often has sales on their shredded cheese that make it much cheaper than Walmart. And so instead of just buying everything at Walmart like I used to, for some of these key items, I try to wait if I can till they have the sale and then stock up a bit. And so that basically, a lot of those items I only buy when they're on sale, and it saves me a lot of money. One more example would be ground beef at Kroger. They will have that on sale from time to time, usually still for $2.99 a pound, which is a great price compared to what it is at Walmart. Walmart, it's $4.60 something a pound normally. So $2.99 a pound is great. Again, I'll just get like a big, a 3 pound, couple 3 pounds maybe of it, and that will last me for a bit until the next sale. Another tip is to use substitutes when you can. Some recipes, if you don't have eggs on hand or don't want to use more eggs, you can use applesauce instead. Like look it up and make sure that it will work in your recipe. But applesauce sometimes can be a substitute, or you can make flax eggs. I don't know if you guys have done that before. You get the flax seed, which I actually just bought some the other day. And if I use it as an egg substitute, I'll try to film that and show you guys how to do it. But that can be a substitute for eggs in baking recipes. So things like that can help you save, and sometimes the flavor and the consistency is exactly the same and your family won't even notice. You also might find ground turkey for cheaper than ground beef. Not always, like sometimes you can, and sometimes, like I know at Aldi sometimes the ground turkey is higher. I'm not sure why, because it doesn't taste as good. But I know many times you can, and so if you don't mind the taste difference, you can substitute that for ground beef or do it like half and half, and that will save you some money on your ground beef. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you substitute that saves you money. I would love more ideas, because even as I'm speaking, I'm like, you know what? I really should know more good substitutes for some of these basic things that I use. So let me know in the comments if you have any good frugal tips for me in that regard. And finally, it's really important to decide on your priorities. So what are the things that you feel like it's worth it to splurge on? Like, yeah, that's gone up in price, but it's really important for me to buy, you know, these particular items for my family. That's not something I would be willing to substitute something else in for, or, you know, get a lesser quality or whatever. These things are important to me. So know which things that are important to you to splurge on, and which things it's like, okay, we don't need that desperately. We're gonna go for something else. So deciding on those priorities will help you to know where you can save, where you can't, and kind of how to set up your grocery budget. I would love to hear about you guys' experience with inflation and grocery shopping and feeding your families. Do you feel like you're still buying very similar things to what you purchased like 5 years ago? Have you changed your shopping habits because of inflation? I would be interested to hear that. So let me know about that in the comments. Like I already mentioned, I will be linking my previous videos about inflation in the description box, so that if you want to check them out and see more specifically all the different groceries and what I paid and all of that, you can click on those and see those. As always, thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you again soon in my next video.